Township News 1, hosted by AC Justice. Socialist Sean making you aware of Hillsong. Victoria, big story time. Pet Entertainment, hosted by Dara Wolf. Let's not forget our guests in different walks of life. Traveling, hosted by Milton Wallace. Heart to Heart Nuggets with Dr. J. Lee Ray. Township News 1 on the move. Hi, this is AC Justice from Community Life Magazine, All Nations TV, and then of course Preachville. Today we're going to be looking at exactly what all three have in common and why, of course, you should download All Nations TV app. Now, as we go through this, I want you to realize that this is very important and that maybe you should try to get as much information as you can with knowledge on All Nations TV. And also, let's not forget Township News 1. Now, as we move forward in this, I want you to realize that All Nations TV is a 24/7. It's 24/7, 7 days a week, our program. We'll be giving you updates at least 4 times a month as far as the TV guide and what's going on. Of course, the Pet Community Life Magazine deals with the events happening in different communities throughout the United States of America and also further than that. Now, as we review things and different topics, that each one carries a separate identity. And if you go to Preachville, for those who are pastors out there who want to make sure that people know how to reach you and contact you, we give you a 30-minute segment that you can talk about your mission, so when people click on that state, they have it. Now let's go on back to the beginning. All Nations TV, as I said before, is a 24/7 network, which means if you want to get your business out there, you can always contact the Peck Media at Gmail, and we'll be ready to get on it to try to get your business in between the shows. But also, if you're looking for the praise, if you're looking for worship, if you're looking for knowledge, you can still go to that network and get it 24/7. There is a guide that gets sent out to you at least once a month and lets you know some of the program and also some of the new programs. Now, for those who don't know about Township News 1, that entity will be letting people know more or less about the programming, what shows they're coming on, and then of course the new events that are coming up. Videos, topics of that will be hosted by Teresa Davis. And then of course Socialist Shawnee is there, and then of course you have Vic from Storytime, and the list goes on with a special guest, Milton Wallace, who will be handling the trip section. So if you're going to go on a vacation, or you're going to go on a trip, he's going to run it down on what you may need to verify that. This right here is an introduction to the entire categories on what we're going to be doing to make sure you get the proper information and the best information at the time when you need it. And then of course sometimes you may just want to view. And as always, don't forget to download All Nations TV app. That's a start. And then of course, if you got something in your neighborhood going on and you want to inform us, we also will be giving our email out so that you can contact us in that way of a pricing event. When it comes time for events, we will be hosting them, and we're going to do them in its entirety so that you understand what's going on. Thanks for your time, and remember, All Nations TV, your Pet Community Life Magazine, Preachville. Get your praise on, and then of course with your pet, get your knowledge, because that's what we're about. Thank you.
Everybody, it's Dara from Entertainment, and I would like to talk a little today about finding your own voice if you are a vocalist. One of the most commonly asked questions that I get is, how do I perform different styles of music and manage to sound like myself along the way? Well, it wasn't always like that. I remember back to when I first started performing out, and I would sing maybe at a wedding, or would sing with an early band or lead a choir or perform in a play. And I remember that whatever piece it was that I was going to perform, I would take it and I would internalize it. So every lick, every solo, everything that that original artist did, I would do it too, and I would do it that way, and I would do it that way every time. And it wasn't until a few years later that a dear musician friend said to me, when you perform on stage with a band, why are you in and out of a song so fast? And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, you sing it just like the artists do, from beginning to end. And I don't hear you in these songs. Do you have a feature to make the song yours? And I said, well, I'm getting callbacks to perform at people's events and weddings and so forth. So I said, let me let you listen to a couple of my demos that I've recorded. And so they listened and they said the same thing. Well, it's good, but once again, I don't hear you. I hear the actual artist. So I knew that there was a lot of truth to this because that's what I had been doing. I had been mimicking. That's how I learned along the way. And so that's when I decided that it was time to find my own individuality in song. And so what I did was I first started by finding one song and listening to as many different artists as I could perform their rendition. So for instance, I chose Summertime, and I would listen to as many artists as I could perform this same song just so that I can get used to listening to and hearing what different people are doing with a song that I had learned a certain way, and hearing how it could be performed differently. Secondly, I started listening to lots of instrumental versions of songs I knew and songs that I didn't know, because with songs that I didn't know, I wanted to start becoming more versatile so I could perform in front of many different audiences. And so also instrumental versions, allowed you to be able to sing your own way on top of these songs because there were no lyrics there. So that was helpful. And lastly, well, not necessarily lastly, but one of my favorite things that I did that I live by is that I started listening to several live versions of some of my favorite songs instead of the radio cut, because on the live versions the artist has the luxury of getting in there and stretching out some of these songs. Some of these songs go on for 8 to 10 to 12 minutes, and you hear the artist do all kinds of tricks and scats and improvisations and ad-libs and all kinds of things. You can hear them actually perform the song instead of just in the studio singing the song to get it perfect, that for a good take. And so that was very helpful. So another thing that this musician said to me, he said, when you're performing, when you get to the end of the song, once you sing the verses and the bridge and the refrains and the vamp and all of that, get to the end of the song and just quiet down and listen. And don't sing anything until you feel it. And I did that. I quiet down, and that's when I heard inside of my head my first scat solo, and that's when I performed my first scat solo. As intimidating as it was something that I needed to do. And so from there I learned how to ad lib and add on and stretch songs out and perform and start making these songs my own. And then I started thinking what a mistake it was to mimic all of these people along the way. And no, I was wrong. We all have our influences. And if you think about it, our influences also had people who influenced them. And so I believe that the more influences you have, the bigger the pool you have to draw from when trying to find your own your own individuality, the bigger the palette you're going to have. And so it's okay to take a little from this person and take a lot from this person, a little from this person. And by the time you mix all of that in with your unique style, your unique voice, and your own creations, then you're going to create your own style. You're going to have your own unique personality in music. So that's how I learned to find my own voice. So my take homes would be, number one, to find a song or several songs that you like, and these songs sang by several different artists, so that you can hear what can be done with a song outside of maybe the one way that you learned it. Also, learn to listen to instrumental songs and several different styles and genres of music that you are familiar with and unfamiliar with. You want to start working on your versatility. Also, big one here is to listen to live versions of songs so that you can learn to stretch out and be creative at the end of the song. Learn to ad lib and improvise, and you listen to some people that you idolize and see what they're doing with their songs. And most importantly, music is a beautiful language, and sometimes we all can get caught up in the frustrations of wanting to be better at this and wanting to be a better singer, wanting to be a better musician, and you kind of lose what's key. Music is beautiful. It's a language of love. And you have to learn that while you're studying and becoming a better you in what you're doing and in performance, to remember to slow down and enjoy the music and enjoy what you're doing along the way, because it is beautiful and it should be enjoyable and it should be fun. Even though it is work, it should also be enjoyable and fun to you and do your heart good. So those are my take homes for today. It's been a pleasure talking to each and every one of you, and I'm going to send it now back over to Justice. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Dara from Entertainment. Have a good one. La, 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 la. Sometimes you're in over your head. Sometimes you question what they said. Sometimes you want to even up.
Hey, welcome to Movie Line. Today we're going to take a look at a movie where there's 4 women that are going on a trip to New Orleans. Remember, it's the Essence Festival. Now this trip is going to wind up getting them and bringing back some of their old feelings and what they used to be like. So really get ready to set as we take another look at this movie. I'm telling you, when I first saw it, I was just, wow, this thing is off the chain. To see friends get together who you ain't seen and they lifelong friends, and then all of a sudden chaos happens and the real them start to come out. Let's get ready to take a look at the clip. Roll it for me.
How long has it been?
I don't know. 2 years, maybe?
You getting some this weekend?
Straight up, you gonna get at least 2 dicks this weekend.
For crying out loud, Dina, we only gonna be there for 3 days.
Well, 3 dicks then.
You know what? I need you to use your lady mouth.
I need you to use your lady mouth.
We haven't hung in 5 years. This weekend is about us. We are here together. Today is the last day that we will ever be this young.
I'm about to get pregnant tonight.
Almost ready. What? This is hand-stitched embroidery from a tribe in Guatemala.
So they not fucking in Guatemala? We got shit to do, so buckle up, bitch.
We're gonna be staying up late, drinking, making memories that we can laugh about for the rest of our lives. Because that's what a girl's trip is for. I have to pee.
Look, the line is short over there. There's a long line in the bathroom here. Just go for it.
Oh, shit.
Stop taking that picture! How much did she drink?
Wow. Move your arm.
That's not my arm.
Ooh, that's that Shaka Zulu right there.
That's my girl.
You know I got some bomb-ass kush if you want to take a hit
Where did you hide?
where the sun don't shine.
You know what? It can cause a lot of infection.
Girl, you can't get no infection in your booty hole. It's a booty hole.
That's my girl.
Well, let's give Universal Studio Pictures a hand on such an outstanding movie directed by Malcolm D. Lee. Now, we could go on and on about that, but I don't want to spoil that movie. So you go on out and see it and enjoy it. Make sure you got popcorn, something to eat, and then, of course, something to drink. Now, our next one is from Marvel Studios. we're going to take a look at Black Panther. And also, remember, we finally get to see how things came about, where he started, where his origin from, and what created the Black Panther that became a legend in comic books. Let's get ready to enjoy it. Make sure you stop by and get some popcorn.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda?
It's a third world country. Textiles, shepherds, cool outfits.
All a front. Explorers have searched for it. Called it El Dorado. They looked for it in South America. But it was in Africa the whole time. I'm the only one who's seen it and made it out alive. I can see you.
The world is changing. Soon there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
You are a good man
Step into the spotlight.
with a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
Now that we have seen both movies, go out, get a friend, get a buddy, get somebody, enjoy both movies, and then also when DVD come out, make sure you get them because you're going to want those two on your collection. Again, welcome, thanks a lot, and remember, Township News 1 on the move as we move even further. Movie line, get ready, we're here.